Assalamu alaikum and hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a while since I filmed a video, but we've just had a lot going on and I took a bit of a step back from creating any new content for a little while. If you've been following me on Instagram, you'll know why I needed to take a step back for a little bit. I'll leave my Instagram handle here. If you aren't following me on there, please do check us out on there because I post a lot more frequently on Instagram than I do anywhere else. One of the things that has changed since I last filmed a video is that we are now home educating. I have a 5-year-old and a 3.5-year-old, and we've been doing this for about a month and a half now, so we're fairly new to it. But when I shared this on Instagram, a lot of you wanted to see how I have things set up and the kind of resources that I'm using. And I wanted to share because we have a very small space and a very small amount of resources, I think, compared to a lot of homeschoolers that I follow and that I've watched over the years. So I wanted to share to show you that you can kind of get started on homeschooling with very little to start with, and the things that you may already have within your house. A bit of context that I do want to give is that we do not have, where we are at the moment, we do not have a lot of furniture. So this is kind of what I've come up with without having a bookshelf and perhaps like another storage unit for some of these things. So bear that in mind when you are watching this as well. I just want to show you that if you don't have these things, you don't have to have everything in place before you sort of go on this journey. So I'll jump straight into it and show you what our setup is like, the kind of resources we have, and what I will do is link everything that I possibly can in the description box below. I do want to say that this video is not sponsored at all. Everything that you see in this video is stuff that we have bought ourselves, or that or the kids have got it as a gift for Eid, or something or the other, a relative or a friend or something has given them. But basically all of these things are things that we've got ourselves. Nothing's been sponsored or anything like that. I hope you enjoy the video. Let's get started. So over here in the corner is where we do a majority of our work. It's not a huge amount of space, but it's what we can afford at this point. I'm going to try and link everything in the description box below, just in case any of you are interested in any of the pieces of furniture or anything else. So if you're looking for something specific, make sure you check the description box below or leave a comment down below and I will make sure I respond. The chairs, which I've actually been asked about several times before, are Trip Trap chairs, and they are absolutely brilliant. We've actually had these ever since the children were babies, and they can be used from birth all the way. I mean, even adults can use them. You just remove that little shelf there at the bottom. As you can see, they're set. They have different settings, so you can keep moving the actual seats. This one, my son uses this one. It's got more space between the actual seat and where he puts his feet. The idea is basically that you can use these at a regular table, so you don't need to have a kiddie table or anything like that, because when children are writing or reading or anything like that, they need a firm place to put their feet, and this section down here gives them that. So we keep adjusting it as they grow, and it is absolutely impossible to have bad posture when you are sitting on these chairs. This table here is from IKEA, and it's one of their most inexpensive combinations. You buy the tabletop separately to the legs, and they have different colors available. The actual tabletop was about £5 when I bought it, and the legs are £2 each. So that works out to about £9 for the whole table. And this table I've actually had since my youngest was born, and he is 5. And apart from like these little nicks in the table where the kids have kind of been a bit careless. Well, actually it's not the kids' fault, it's mine. I should have covered it if I wanted to kind of preserve it. But also I used to use this as my desk, and I now have the same desk. I just bought a different top and different set of legs. If you cover it, you'll be able to preserve this quite well. It's inexpensive, and honestly it's the best solution that I found for desk space that doesn't cost the earth and doesn't, and it looks all right as well. You can get IKEA units that go underneath there instead of the legs for extra storage if that's what you want. At the moment, we do not have a bookshelf, like I said before, so I am storing the books that they picked up that they really want to read in that box there. So those are just reading books, basically, that they pick and can go through whenever they want to. When we do get a bookshelf, they'll go on the bookshelf. On the actual table, all I have is a little thing for color pencils, actual pencil. There's just 2 of these. I don't know where the other one's gone, but 2 of these, and then 2 pairs of scissors, 2 of these dry erase markers, and then an eraser and one of these things to erase dry erase marker, basically, and a pencil sharpener. I've got this just because it looks nice to have some green on the table. And then they have their alphabet maths. These ones are by Learning Roots. There we go. I got them when I bought a book from Learning Roots quite a while ago. It says copyright 2015. They do sell them and they're raised. So I don't know if you can see that, but they're raised, and they have a revised version now where they're even better apparently. So you can actually pick these up if you just want to buy the mats. I'll leave a link in the description box below. And they're double-sided. So there's Arabic on one side and English on one side. I had bought 2 books for the kids, so I got 2 mats at the time, but otherwise you can just buy one and then use both sides. I like having it out like this because the kids get to obviously see. It's better than kind of having like a big wall chart. I'm not really a fan of that. Plus, if the kids are working on something and kind of want to refer to it, they can have it here and work on whatever they're working on, and they can see quite closely. So I quite like that. We are also doing quite a bit with this. This is also by Learning Roots. Every single day we try to take out one of the manners in here. They are like these little circles, and the kids got them as an Eid present from their aunt. So yeah, we try to take one out and, oh, look at that one. And then we sort of discuss how we can do this and ways that we can implement these manners. When you come across from the table here is the kids' bunk bed, and basically what I've done is I've actually used underneath the space underneath the bunk bed as storage for supplies that we're using for homeschooling. Now again, if I had a piece of furniture in here, they might go in box files or in different boxes on the actual piece of furniture, like if I had a shelving unit or something like that. But for now, I wanted to be able to see the boxes quite easily, and for them to be open so that the items are accessible and I can ask the kids to come and pull things out of them. And this is the best way to do it, really. They all cover different things. So this one, for example, is their Arabic and Quran and Islamic studies box. That one is English and phonics. That one is math and other flashcards and things like that. And this one has 2 things that aren't supposed to be there, and supplies like coloring pencils, markers, and other things. And I'll give you a I'll go over the contents of each box in detail though, so you can see exactly what's in it. But this is a great way to kind of make use of if you've really got no space to store things. This is a great way to make use of the space that you do have, especially if you live in a small space. The actual boxes here are the Samla ones from IKEA. I believe Wilko also do a version like this, or you can get baskets. Basically, whatever fits the things that you've got to fit in them. I find that these are really useful. They're very inexpensive, and I had them on hand because I was using them for different things around the house. If you've seen some of my other videos, you will have seen that we use these quite a bit. So I had them on hand, and I basically made use of them instead of buying new things. So I'm going to go ahead and give you a peek into each box. So this is the box where I store all of their art supplies, stationery, that sort of thing. I've got some large color pencils in here. These are some of these are the Stabilo ones, and some of the other ones are these are the ones from IKEA that I think become watercolors as well. Both of these become watercolors if you draw with them and then paint with it, and then you can add water and paint with them. So I really like those. And then this is just extra pencils and rulers that they've got with different things, and erasers, things like that. I've got some extra dry erase or wipe clean markers in here. These are markers. These are again IKEA ones. So I highly recommend these. They're not very expensive, and the colors are really nice as well, and they are nice sized kind of for them to grip as well. This one has paint supplies in it, so paint brushes, foam brushes, things like that, and extra glue sticks. I will link these bags in the description box below because I'm always asked about them, and I swear by these bags. They are so good for to store toys in. They're good to store puzzles in. They're great to store anything in, to be honest, because the zipper is quite strong. It's held up, at least with my children, and it's also waterproof on the other side. So if you're storing documents in here or flashcards or things that you don't want to get ruined, these are a good option. I will leave a description. I'll leave a link to these in the description box. These are their alphabet stamps. So I'll try and find these. They were given these as a gift, but I'll try and find them. They're basically stamps, and it's a fun way for them to like try and make words and things with these. So we like to use those as well. I just don't like to leave all this stuff out because I feel like it then gets too overwhelming to kind of clean up. We've got an apron for painting, some Crayola washable paints. I love these. Another set of dry erase markers, colored ones that I really want to use, but a little bit later with my son, and then extra coloring pencils when the other set that is currently on the table, when they really run through those, then I'll open another set. Otherwise, I'm not opening anything new. I prefer that they go through what they have first, and then I will open another set up for them. Some chalk in here, and then a pack of pencils, and these, which are so great because they're all on one like one string thing, and you never lose the actual covers. So they pull this out, but then you never lose the covers. They were given this as a gift, and I find them really, really good. These are again the Stabilo ones. I will link them down below. They'd be very good for older children. And then this dry erase eraser thing. It came with a whiteboard that we used to have from IKEA along with these markers. The markers are running out soon, but this still works very well. So I've kept it just because we do a lot of work that requires erasing. So I've kept that just so we can have that as a backup as well. The next box here that we've got is the one that we use for Islamic studies, Quran, and Arabic. So I've got a little Quran here. This is just Amma, and we are working on the surahs. Got a notebook here. This is just one of those notebooks with lines on it. My son practices his Arabic handwriting in this. I've got the Alhamdulillah 4 series by Aina, and it's a gratitude journal. And the reason, it's not necessarily meant for children, but the reason I love it for the kids is because of the illustrations. So we talk about the illustrations within it, what we're grateful for, and we use these as kind of prompts and discussion points. So we're really enjoying using this. I'll leave a link to their website below. I don't know if they still sell the hardbacks, but I will try and find out from them. We use these Quran words, so a word a day. There are 30, I believe, in here. Are there 30? There are 30 cards, and this is what they look like. So you've got an image, the word in Arabic, the word in English, and the surah that it appears in, and the description on the back of what it means and things, the ways that you can introduce it to your child. And we absolutely love these. We went through these in Ramadan, but I love that, sorry, not one a day, one a week. we went through these in Ramadan, but I found that doing one a day was a bit too much for mine. They didn't really retain all of the information, if that makes sense, because it was a lot of information. So I feel like with one a week, we're going a lot slower with it, and they are really sort of retaining some of the words and remembering them a lot better. So that is a really, really good buy if you're able to get this one. Another thing that we are using, they don't sell these anymore, I'm afraid. I've tried looking for them online because so many people have asked me, but I cannot find them. I'm sure you'll find something similar though. They're Arabic alphabet flashcards, and they're basically the actual alphabet. So you've got like alif here, you have how it appears at the beginning, the middle, and the end of a word, and then you have a word in Arabic, the image, the English equivalent, and then again examples of how it appears in the beginning, middle, and end. And the reason I love this as well is because you don't just have one word to practice with, especially when you introduce the tashkil. You've got 3 other words that you can use here as well that all have alif in it. So it's basically 4 vocabulary words, different kinds of words as well, to one flashcard, which I think is brilliant. So these are one of the things that we use for Arabic as well. We use our dua cards all the time. These are actually available on my website as a free download. I will leave a link to these in the description box below as well, so that you can download them. We just laminated them and put a little keyring through it, and the kids used to take it out with them when they were learning the dua for leaving the home, and they couldn't remember it. We are still trying to learn the 2 toilet ones. We know the shorter one, but we're still trying to get to grips with the one entering the toilet, especially because they basically, I don't know about your children, but mine like rush to it. So it's like the dua is the last thing on their minds before they're running in there. So we're working on that. We also have the My First Quran with pictures, which is for Juz Amma, and is absolutely great resource. I'm taking my time taking you through these resources because I think that they're so great, and I highly recommend every single one of them. There's nothing that I have here that I think, oh, that's redundant, or I didn't really need that one. Each one serves a purpose, and they're so useful. So this one basically goes through the surah, and it gives you the translation there, and then an explanation. There's a very nice visual explanation of what the surah is about. So we discuss this quite a bit, so they actually understand what they're reciting. My son is actually really enjoying this now, so he's understanding what he's reading. We've also just started getting into the daily dua sticker activity book. My daughter is loving being able to kind of color, and she's the one that loves coloring, so she loves being able to kind of color this. And then they have really good prompts here for how to use the book as well, and then there's stickers as well that you can give them if you want to at the completion. You can even print these out and stick them up, which is a really great way to encourage them to learn it as well. So if you're working on the dua for when you wake up, you can have them color the page, talk about it, tear it out, frame it for them, so they have something that they made that they can refer to all the time. So this one is great. It's by the Muslim Sticker Company. I actually have quite a few things from them, and they're really so it's muslimstickers.com, and they have some really good resources there as well. We've got an Islamic studies book here. This is actually from when my son went to madrasa. He only went for a year because we moved, so we weren't close to the madrasa anymore. I don't want to share the contents because obviously I'm using it to go over the material again with my children because I paid for it, and it was something that we obviously we paid for. We got to keep the books, and we can use the books any way that we want, but I don't want to violate any copyright notices or anything like that. So that is what we're using for Islamic studies. And then we are also using the Word United Arabic alphabet write and wipe flashcards. These are great. Again, they introduce how you write the alphabet, and then give you the opportunity to trace it and then write it on your own, and then the alphabet at the beginning, the middle, at the end, and what it's like at the end of a sentence, as well as vocabulary, so that you can so that, and it's with the tashkil as well, so you can use this as a resource for that as well. The other things that I have in here are a wipe clean board, so when I'm asking them to write an alphabet or something like that, we use this little plastic thing. And this is one of the resources that we got again from the madrasa, and I use this to ask the children to, you could do this very easily, just write them down on a board, or you can write them down on a piece of paper, write all the alphabets down and laminate it, and then I ask the children to circle things. So I could say circle sheen, circle ra, circle jim, things like that, and that helps me check that they know the alphabet, even if you are not going in the correct order, because I find sometimes children memorize the order of something, and then when you ask them anything out of order, they're like and then the reverse of the page also has it with also has the alphabets with the tashkil, so the fatha, the kasra, and the dhamma. The next box that I've got here is the one that we use for English and phonics and writing, basically. I made this box for the kids. It's basically, I'm going to put up a video on how I made this, or a blog post maybe. You've got the capital letter, these are wooden letters, the capital letter and the lowercase letter. I will link these down below just in case you're interested in the actual alphabets and getting those, and not necessarily setting this whole thing up. So I will, if the blog post is already ready, I will link it in the description box, but if it isn't, I will just link these for the time being. So you've got the uppercase letter and the lowercase letter, and then these came in a CBeebies magazine quite a while ago that we had. I don't know if you're able to get these. I'll have a look online before I publish this video, but basically you've got some of the you've got lots of tools that you can use for phonics. These are the number blocks, so the kids kind of really enjoy putting words together with this. I thought that it would be helpful to kind of have extra bits, because sometimes you want to make a word and it's got lots of different alphabets, obviously, or the same alphabet that you need to use over and over again, like A's or S's, things like that you run out of. So I've put that in here. This didn't actually have the sections, so I just made them in here. So it's just, so that's why those are there. But this is what we kind of use to just make it a little bit more fun when they're creating words, or when I'm practicing spelling with my son. I use these sheets because my daughter is obsessed with writing her name and wants to do it every day. So basically I have a tracing sheet here with her name. If you can see that, her name is underneath there, and then she uses this little section here to uses this pouch, and these are really great wipe clean pouches. You get a pack of 5. I will try and link this again down below for you guys. And then on the other side, or the page underneath there, I've got just the whole alphabet, so she can work on tracing both of those things, and it actually really helps me to keep her occupied sometimes when I'm really in the midst of something quite important with my son and I need to focus, and I don't really want any interruptions, so that is very useful. It's also useful if you have worksheets or other material that you don't want to keep printing out over and over again, and multiple children can use the same worksheet if you just put it in one of these wipe clean pouches. And then I've got more kind of resources for them to use. So I made these quite a while ago. They are basically wooden slices, wooden pieces, like these basically, and they've got, sorry, some of them are empty, and they basically got a capital letter on one side and then the lowercase on the other, and you can just do so many activities with this, basically, you know. You can ask them to bring you the E, or where is the capital, where is the uppercase M, or, you know, have them practice making words with making sure that they use capital letters appropriately. I will link these below. They're so inexpensive. You basically just buy the wooden disc things and then just Sharpie on whatever you want to Sharpie on them. You could use this for any language as well, so you could use this for Arabic alphabets as well. These are just spare spare alphabets that I didn't want to put in the box there, but I've got here again, just in case they need extras for something else that they're doing. These are the Read with Biff, Chip and Kip series, and we are on level 4. So this is, I got a set of levels 4 to 6, and basically these were all level 4 that were in the set, so I'm keeping these out as we're working through these. Then we have the reading journal. I will leave a link to this in the description box below, but basically it just gives you a way to record the date, the title, the author, the pages that you read, and then as well as the new words that you've learned, which I think is a really, really great way for your child to kind of build up a really good record of what they've been reading. And then I've got a little book here that he uses to when we're writing sentences or practicing other things, and this is a book that we got from school with all his work that he did when he went to school for that 1 year. I'm just sort of building up on what he's got within this basically, and using it as because there's still space to work inside it. And then this box, which I think the kids love the most, is basically something full of like math resources and just other things basically that the kids really enjoy. So we've got these Brain Quest decks, and you can basically take them around with you. They're very, very portable, which is great. So if you're waiting for in the doctor's office or for an appointment for something else, and you've got children that are bored, this is brilliant. You basically ask them a question, and then here we go, which plane got off the ground, and the answers are on the back. Which one rhymes with wow? And basically I find that this says 5 to 6, but I find that my son can do these quite easily. And you can get different stages as well. Some of these, well, actually all of them, I think because it's an American product, they when they refer to currency, it's American currency. So just, I'm just letting you know basically, just in case that's a deal breaker for you. But otherwise, I find them to be really, really useful. And my kids love kind of pulling from this. And I have to kind of really, I have to really try not to go through the entire deck in one sitting with them, because they just want to keep going and going and going. So this is a really great tool. Also, I guess I'm just thinking about logic and things like that in a way that's not, sitting down and being told things. So yeah. And then these are our MathLink cubes. They're by Learning Resources. They're basically everything the kids use for math at this stage, and they really, really love counting with this and just making things as well with these. I'll leave a link to these. They're very, very affordable, and I highly recommend them. And then I've got other things in here, like these coloring books and things that the kids have gotten from various packs before, either as a gift or something or the other, but I've saved them because then when I'm working on stuff with one child, the other child can do something and is occupied basically, and I don't have to keep shushing or saying, could you please give me a minute whilst I explain this. So yeah, I just keep these two in here for now. And then I've got these. I didn't purchase these were given to me by my sister-in-law. She finished using them, so basically she passed them on from her son and her sons, and I think that they're really, really useful. I don't know if I can find these online. I'll try and find them online, but my son uses them. So basically I'll put these cards out in front of him, different ones, and then he will, using the blocks, find 7 blocks plus 3, and then give me the answer, write down the answer on a separate sheet of paper or on a post-it note or something like that. He finds that really, really fun to do. And then there's other flashcards here as well. These ones are sight words, and then these ones are really, really useful for descriptive ones. You have to describe the color and the shape, so these are quite fun to use. And then we've got a Go Fish set with dinosaurs on it, which my kids love. And these ones, what I do with flashcards is most of the, especially ones that I know are going to be used heavily, as you can see, with this one, for example, with this set, for example, is I will laminate them when I get them, just because I know that if the kids use them just as they are, they will ruin them quite quickly. So that's a tip if you've got time to laminate them. We're also using this First Atlas, which I find quite simplistic and, you know, sort of fairly straightforward for the kids to learn. And this is kind of like geography level for year 1. And then again, here we've got my A to Z sticker book of Islam. Again, this is a really fun thing for my daughter to be doing whilst we are busy with other things. They have a sticker for each alphabet. They have a sticker for each alphabet, and then practice for the actual uppercase and lowercase letter. And then at the back, she's even got a really handy letter formation guide, which you can just kind of cut out and stick up. That I think is really, really useful. And these books are so inexpensive. So I've put that in here again, just for us to use. And then on days when, or seasons when it's just too difficult to kind of get to anything properly, we use these workbooks. Some of these I got from Aldi, some of these I got from Poundland. I've just put them in here for kind of days when it's just too difficult to get to anything else, but I want them to do something, or they want to do something. So these are sort of good options because they're really inexpensive as well. So yeah, these are the 3 that I've put in here for now. And that is pretty much it for all of our resources and things that we're using. It might seem like a lot of stuff, but honestly, some of these things, like I've said, are either gifts or things that you would have anyway, like stationery and things for your children, or blocks and things like that. If you don't want to buy those blocks, you can just use Lego. You know, you don't have to kind of have everything. You can create things yourself. So, you know, we've got Arabic flashcards, but you don't have to buy Arabic flashcards if you don't want to. We've got number flashcards, but you don't have to buy them if you don't want to. Before I was gifted this set and these other things, I actually created these myself and my just on the computer. And my youngest has been using them for a very long time. So again, you know, you don't need to spend a whole lot of money on things. There's lots of ways that you can kind of keep costs down or not spend very much at all to begin with, but I hope that this has kind of given you some ideas. If you've got any questions at all, please leave them in the comments below. And thank you so much as always for your support, for being so patient whilst I took a bit of a break. I'm going to leave my Instagram handle again down below, because this is where you'll kind of see me more day to day. If you haven't already, I would love it if you'd subscribe to the channel. Give this video a thumbs up if you found it useful. Share it with somebody else. And I'll see you in my next one. Assalamu alaikum.